Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Joining me is comedian, actor, Joey Diaz. Joey's got a new film coming out called Grudge Match. Listen to this. De Niro and Stallone are in it. Wow. And he has a podcast called Testicle Testaments. I enjoy that. I enjoy that name. What's up, Joe?
What's up with you, baby?
How you doing?
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you,
It's been
man.
10 years. I always get there when you leave.
What does that mean?
I'm from North Bergen, New Jersey, and all my friends are longshoremen.
Oh, really?
So they always ask me questions, and I guess it's you and the guy from Handprint. His dad's a big-time...
Handprint?
Handprint Entertainment, one of the 8 managers
really?
there. His father's a big, longshoreman guy.
Oh, okay. My father wasn't a longshoreman. My buddy's father was a big deal in the union. Still is. Great man, great man. He got me a job there.
Right. And the bananas.
No, I wasn't working a banana pier. I worked the orange juice pier.
Okay. Oh, my God.
But that was a good gig because it came in, like when I would say I'd unload orange juice trucks and ships, people would think they'd come in the big containers and you have to lift them. Nah, they came in liquid. So they come in big hoses. So you'd hook the hoses up to these big container trucks and ships, and you wait for it to pump off. It was great. It took about 3 hours to hook up the hoses, and then we'd wait like 22 hours playing pinochle or something while it unloaded, and we got like double time, and everything was fantastic. I think the guy who owned the company paid the people in Brazil $1 a day to pick the oranges, and we would get $40 an hour to play poker. Well, it's a good union, man.
That is a good union.
And you're from North Bergen.
Right over. I'm Cuban.
Good town,
So
right?
we're
Like
from
Union City, North
right.
Bergen, right?
And then my mom, we had a little dough, so we got the house in North
Nice.
Bergen. It was all Italians and Irish. A
Beautiful.
couple Jews. You know how that goes.
Well, you need a couple of everything.
Everything.
You need a couple of everything. So now, how do you get involved? You stand up too?
Stand up started in Colorado.
Now, how did that happen?
You know, man, I got in trouble with the book.
Right.
You know, you owe some money, and you got to
So
go
you went
somewhere.
out west.
Went out west, got some education.
Right.
And then started comedy. Just out there at the Comedy Works.
Now, did you pay off the book, or you lammed it?
You just lammed it. I think he's still looking for me. He's in Edgewater.
He might be.
Yeah, he's in Edgewater.
Oh, really?
I owe him like $800. My buddy lost like $30,000.
Oh, my God.
And I owed him $800.
$1,000?
He lost. He was up 60. The Super Bowl
God.
'83, when the Redskins played Miami, he was up 60.
David Woodley against Heisman.
And he sat on everybody's bet, including his father's bet. Everybody ended up losing 30. He had to get 2 jobs. And I was like, see you later,
And you
Jack.
went to Colorado?
Yeah, I'm going to Colorado
So you
to
go
ski.
to Colorado, did you go to outside Denver or something?
I went to Aspen.
Went to Aspen.
And 1984 was the cocaine capital of the country.
Sure.
They blew up some guy up there in a truck. Tremendous.
The white stuff covering that was not only snow.
Yeah, it was not only snow.
That's what I hear. And now so you go there and you start doing stand-up comedy.
I started doing stand-up like in 91. I was there like in 84 being a criminal, and then 91.
Being a criminal art,
I really got into it. So.
Now, how long were you there before you thought the heat was off and you could come back?
I didn't come back for about 6 or 7 years.
Did you go to L.A. ever, or did you go?
No, I never even dreamed of L.A. I got into comedy. I went up to Seattle. It seemed like a fun market to go up to.
Yeah.
And I was just buying time. I was like Richard Gere in Office and the Gentleman.
That's
I had nowhere else to go.
So you were doing stand-up, kind of killing time before you could come back and be safe, you thought?
And then I got a deal from CBS. I moved to L.A., shot the pilot, never got picked up. And I was still like Richard Gere. I still had nowhere to go.
Some money in your pocket after that.
Yeah, it was in the beginning. And
that's the great thing about a career in show business, especially if you're a comic and you know how to do stand-up, you can make money on the road. But, if you get one deal, it puts money in your pocket for a while. You can look like a nomad. And then what'd you do after L.A. and the deal? You just moved around?
I just stayed there, did a comedy store.
Right.
And then went on the road. Just developed as a feature, went out, got evil every night, looked out windows, tied up a few women, rubbed some Bengay on their feet. I got down. When you're a feature act, you get down. When you're a headliner, you got to become respectable.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
there are some feature acts that I've worked with all over the country.
Oh, my God.
That are the most fascinating people. There should be movies made about them. I just have a van, and they go.
That's
like I would play. They work with me in St. Louis or whatever, and then I'd come back to New York or L.A. and then I go, where are you going? He goes, I'm driving to Tennessee. I got a gig in Memphis. You don't know what their life is like.
I would leave for 6 months. I would send clothes home to L.A.
Right.
I would just be from Greyhound to Greyhound. around, flight to flight.
Now, did you ever get married involved in all this stuff?
Yeah, I got married, and then I got divorced, and that's when I got into stand-up. Once you got nothing, that's the best time to get into stand-up.
I was gonna
Once
say-
you cleaned me out, it was done. I had nothing going on.
I was going to say, who'd you send the clothes to when you were sending clothes?
Once I was living in L.A., I had a roommate. You
Right.
have a roommate in L.A., 9 guys in one bedroom on Sunset and Gower there.
Yeah.
And he just sent clothes home, and I would get clothes, and I would buy clothes at Walmart. And I would start in Toronto. This is when I was allowed in Canada.
Yucks.
I would start, like at some club, Bollywood or something.
You're not allowed in Canada anymore?
No.
Currently, you're not allowed in
No,
Canada.
they took my passport.
What
and
happened
everything.
there?
You got a couple felonies along the way. People get stabbed. Things happen. And they take your passport. The Chinese don't even want me. You know what I'm saying? But the Canadians won't let you do nothing. Like, you gotta, but
They are very
Vicious.
strict. They're very strict. in
but
Canada.
if they let Keith Richards in, they'll let us in. You
Well,
follow what I'm saying?
Keith Richards, I pay a lot of money to change hands there.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Keith Richards, that's true. Keith Richards in 1978, a lot of people don't realize this. He was looking at, they weren't going to let him out. He was looking at life in prison.
do you know how he got out of that? Did you read the book?
Well, I read a couple.
The little
Did
girl-
you read his book?
Right, the little girl who was
Yeah,
blind
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
went to the judge and said this guy took care of me on the road.
Right.
And he let him do a charity deal or something, which is a great story.
They let him give a lot of money to charity. That girl's testimony, and he also, claimed he was gonna be a spokesman for drug use and try to get kids off drugs. Which of course I don't think he stopped doing heroin.
That's the guy you have a picture of on your wall when you first turned 14.
Yeah.
Like, that's who you want to be like. You know what? I'm gonna get down.
But he was trying to bring 2 suitcases of heroin into Canada. And even Mick Jagger said in interviews afterwards, who brings that much heroin into Canada? And he almost went down. He'd be in jail today still. Or maybe he would have hung himself by now, but I'm talking 35 years ago. So now, how do you get through all that and get to this point now where you got this successful podcast?
I have no
You're in the
idea.
movies. Gonna get that cough looked at, you think?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea.
That was a brutal cough.
Oh, no, I went to eat before this, and I still had a pepper stuck in my throat. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got a jalapeno and a tonsil.
Oh, I used to work with a lot of Cubans at the Port, man. God knows.
Yeah,
I tell you,
yeah.
everybody talks about Italian food, French food. Nobody knows food like Cuban.
Oh,
that is
tremendous.
the best food on the planet. Yeah.
Tremendous. Little lobster tail and chilao with the
Where,
white rice.
in the North Bergen, Union City area, give me a great Cuban restaurant to go to.
Listen, when I grew up in Union City, Union City was the capital for Cuban food.
It was. It was like
Hernandez,
Havana.
48th
Yeah,
Street,
sure.
Rapido Taxi on 4. Rapido Taxi was a Cuban.
I remember that place.
No,
Yeah.
Rapido Taxi was a Cuban taxi cab company that just delivered cocaine.
No,
they didn't have customers. You could stand out there with millions. In
No,
your
but there
hand.
was a Rapido taxi
Right,
with a
Rapido. This is
sign.
for years. Yeah, for years.
You know what,
But
I
in the
never got-
70s,
I never got
they only
cocaine
delivered
delivered.
blow.
Right.
That you could call them up. I need a kilo at my house. You could stand out there with $1 million. They wouldn't pick you up.
I'm glad I didn't know about that aspect. I'm glad I don't know about that aspect of it.
No, and now I think it's like Mundo Latino. That's big. I don't come home that much. I'm not there in L.A.
So you're in L.A. now.
I'm L.A. full time.
Okay.
And there's no cube. There's a little. You have to get black beans from this place in Silver Lake.
That's Mexican. That
Right.
town. Yeah.
But there's one place that's really good, El Cochinito in Silver Lake.
Cochinito.
They have little pork chunks with white rice and black beans as fried bananas.
Oh, no, some of the stuff
Stop
is
it.
Well, I got to tell you, there was a place in South Beach. It was directly across the street from the Delano. I wish I knew the name of this place, but for
Port
years,
Sagua was in Miami.
okay.
That's the best
It was
place
on
in Miami.
Collins Ave.
That's it, Port Sagua.
right across. It's not there anymore. Do you know the last time I went, it wasn't there anymore?
No, that's not Port Sagua.
Okay,
I was
well,
just there
this
3
is a
weeks.
place you can sit down, paper plates, like plastic spoons and forks, and the best, freshest chicken, rice, Cuban food you ever had in your life.
Delicious. The garlic.
I know,
You go burp in somebody's face afterwards.
Yeah.